Welcome to ProTalks by Elevate. I'm Anne Benjamin. On today's episode, we have Dominic Joseph, who is the CEO of Pandal Cafe. So, Dominic, we've seen each other for like a lot of tasting sessions, a lot of other
Yes,
shoots and
very
everything, but
much.
this is something very new for me. So I'm
For
really
me
looking
too.
for I'm really looking forward for this.
Okay.
And I was just going through your bio and I noticed something that you've studied economics. Yeah,
That was a small part of my
Johnny.
journey, which was, I would say, economics was part of the ride after school.
Okay.
I mean, it was not something that I wanted to follow on.
It just came
It,
along.
it was something that after school I was like thinking what to do.
Okay.
Many people had many things going on. I was still wasn't sure on what my next move was. So a lot of my friends went to Bombay, Xavier's. Said, let's go.
Okay.
I had a party time for 3 years. I studied,
Okay.
but yes, economics. I tried to get into the work line after college, but then I realized it's not my way forward. And that's when I realized after a year after college that culinary is something that I love to cook. I've always been around kitchen in our business. So why not? And coincidentally, the president of the school I went to in New York was in Cochin in our hotel.
Oh, wow.
And that's how my dad got introduced to this hotel. And he said, why don't you check out this hotel called CIA, Culinary Institute of America? And that's when I started doing my research, started looking into it. Then there was a thought like, why US? Why not Europe? Europe is more popular for
Food
Switzerland.
and
Switzerland is very popular for hotel management, culinary art. Then it was a decision which I had to make looking at what exactly I want out of food also. More modern thinking or more cosmopolitan thinking was, I thought, New York, the school in America. I'm not saying that Switzerland was any less, but I saw New York, said, let's go to New York. Let's have fun in New York and study.
okay.
Not that after going to New York, the school I was in was 2 hours away from Manhattan,
Okay.
which was very remote,
Okay.
very village, and all my expectation of going to New York went crashing down.
Okay.
So we are in this campus of only chefs wearing your toques and your chef jackets, and it was just a very good 3.5 years of life in CIA.
So that's your glimpse of that particular college.
That was CIA life. Very rigorous, very intense, very. It's an accelerated program. It's an institute. Your normal breaks, college breaks, you get 3 months. Here it was 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So you had, like any other school, breakfast class, which started at 4 a.m., which means you have to get up at 2 a.m. to get things ready. It was two parts. Just to tell you what it was. This whole college was two parts. One was hardcore in the kitchen, if I had to put it, which is called the associates program. And then you had the management program, which was the restaurant management or food management, which was the bachelor program. So a total of 3.5 years was spent.
Okay.
That's where I met my wife too. So she's here with me. And we are both CIA graduates.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So from there to coming here and taking up Pandal, I'm sure a lot of pressure would have been there, if I'm not wrong.
I'm no, I wouldn't call it pressure. I went there knowing that I'll be back here
Okay.
to join the business of
But
hospitality.
definitely when you take up something, some responsibility, there will be a
Oh yes,
pressure, some
yeah,
eyes on you.
yes,
like,
yes,
you know.
definitely.
So how was that journey into?
So post my America stint after school, I worked in Manhattan and Chicago. Moving back, I was with CGH as an F&B GM for the group. Spent about 3 years of my life there, moving around property to property, and then looking at what. Now, I came from American School of Culinary. CGH is more of local. We celebrate local,
Yeah.
beyond words. And how can you bring global to local was a big part. I learned a lot being in CGH. Coming back to CGH was a huge learning curve for me. How important local cuisine is and how great it is also. Of course, local cuisine is your comfort food for us.
Yeah.
And how can you make it put it on a pedestal? So 3.5 years passed by, and then the opportunity came by. We have another business called Casino Air Catering and Flight Services, which is called CAFS, which is a pan India company, and we had to set up a restaurant or food experience in the airport, the new international airport in Cochin, T3.
Okay.
So this opportunity came that whether since I was in the food world, can I move there and start help set up? So I moved from CGH to CAFS. CAFS ideally, the core business is flight kitchen, and this non-aero part was something that I initiated to set up. If I can remember, it was about 21 outlets in T1, including food courts to individual restaurants to kiosks to everything, the food experience. Then we set up the domestic airport. Then we went to the highways and then to railway station also. We wanted the same experience on an airport in the railway station. We set up a state-of-the-art setup at the South Railway Station. And the concept was food for travelers. It was purely to target that and to give best space, quality space, and good food. But then the COVID was, we couldn't escape COVID. So our plans changed, and we said let's stick to our core business. And then we realized that Pandal, which was a brand which we started in 1984, was kept in the back burner. The growth, the development was more for the catering and the hospitality business. And then I knew that there is a huge potential for a retail food and beverage company. And I decided, I proposed to the group, saying, let me move and take Pandal as a project. Now to take it, today it was only a cake shop. Yeah. Today it's cake shop and a restaurant business. And hope we are working on one more type of a project. So, and there's a huge plan that we laid out for Pandal, how to ignite and just go forward. So, there's a lot of plans for Pandal. So hopefully we'll see a big difference in the next
coming years.
5 years. That's my target.
And since you mentioned about it, this hotel industry is actually very dynamic. It keeps changing every day. It changes according to location, the palette, the mood, everything. So, what's the kind of approach that you have while you set up a menu for a particular location or a hotel?
The concept that we took for CGH back then, local was always our core value for CGH Earth. Now, being local helped us focus what the food should be. Okay. The food of the land was more a direction that should be taken. Your let's say Coconut Lagoon was the Travancore, Central Kerala. Marari Beach was coastal. Tekeri Spice Village was the food of the what's the right term? I won't say the tribals, but the hills or the spices and so like every location had its own direction, and we followed that to the T. Okay. So that gave a lot of I think 80% of our headache of thinking was sorted by creating our core value. Now product like Brunton Boatyard or 8th Bastion, it is more cosmopolitan. So Brunton Boatyard, we have a concept of history, which is history of Fort Cochin. That was a pure experience. It's a great experience that we have in Brunton. 8th Bastion was, again, it was a Dutch building, so we created following the Dutch route of where the Dutch traveled. So that's purely the way how we started, or we got the direction from the values that it was laid out.
So to get these directions, I mean, I'm sure you're definitely an integral part of all these, the planning stage, everything, to the execution, in fact. So, how do you keep yourself motivated, or where do you draw that kind of motivation from? Does traveling help you? Do you go to different places? Are you a foodie? Do you go try out from every place?
The best part is when you travel, you gain so much.
Yeah.
But I think travel, yes, of course, travel is a great part where you can
Get inspired?
ignite and get inspired. But also, I think this guy here is, I mean, we have Instagram. I have a lot of other channels that I keep following, keep reading, keep watching. And today the world is so small. I think that's why I tell my chefs in our group, like, we don't have to go there anywhere. It's everything's on your lap today, and it's we can just read and watch and educate ourselves to grow ourselves and keep ourselves motivated by seeing there's something new out elsewhere. So those, traveling is definitely, I'm not saying no, but I love to travel. We go to I'm a hardcore foodie. I love food. Flavor is something that I'll really look out for. Bold flavors, not just. I mean, do I like fine dining? I would say no. I like
Okay.
to go where it's the opposite of fine dining if I'm when I'm traveling. So that gives you nice bold flavors of, and how you bring that flavor back to your shop is something that we work with. Then I talk to the chefs. We sit, we try, we create. Then the rest is
Then magic
the customer.
happens.
Customer has to tell us.
So, any particular memory, like since you mentioned about, you travel somewhere, any particular memory that you are fond of, or which
The
has been a hit here in Pandal?
What's been a hit in Pandal, I would say it's purely an experience of me in Chicago. Let me go back to Chicago days where I was introduced and fell in love with Mexican food.
Okay.
To be precise, tacos. Tacos is something that I wanted to bring home
Okay.
and make it a very interesting food here. So there's a product called birria. Birria is some nothing. It's just a taco where you grill on both sides of the shell. It's not crispy taco. It's soft shell taco, but it's grilled with cheese, and then you dip in a sauce and you eat it. It's messy, but it's bold flavors, and it just hits your palate.
Okay.
And those are something that really stood out. And I said, this has to be in Cochin when I was in Chicago. And yes, I mean, like that, I'm sure there are more. In New York, there was a tone noodle that I liked, but it was more difficult to introduce here, so we skipped that. These are small alleyways. This Mexican food was when I was working in the kitchen in Chicago. My peer was a Mexican,
Okay.
and he used to make the most amazing tacos after every shift. We don't want to eat the restaurant food, but he'll make us tacos on the side, and it was the authentic tacos, like how you
A
a
Mexican
homemade
way.
Mexican taco. And they knew how, I mean, of course, they were amazing at it. And they'll just make taco within seconds. So when flavors are bold and it hits your palate, and you will not forget that. So that's what I really look for.
Okay.
Umami flavor, yes, but flavors can be a combination of many strength. But the boldness of the flavor is something that I really want in the product that we serve to be.
So flavor is one, but also along with all that, marketing is also a strategy which comes along with it, right? When you start off with a place.
Sure.
So, what's your approach on it, or what is your advice to people who are looking forward to start something on their own?
So I'm
Helpful.
saying take it easy. Don't jump. Don't pump money into marketing as you go for. Settle down with your product. Get your product. There will always in a restaurant. There is always teething as you open. Settle down and then. For me, I believe in organic growth.
Okay.
Organic does not mean no marketing. You
Okay.
have to market, but bring in people. Today, I think influential marketing is a big part of restaurant or any product. How to do that is very important. So have a plan with whoever it is. I mean, stick to one team of let's say you're talking to an influencer. Talk to them and set a pattern, maybe for 5 months, 6 months, and work out every month or every once in 2 months, so that that rhythm is maintained, so that people know about it. And marketing can be a big force through social media. But end of the day, your content for marketing is what is more important. You have to sell your product, keep inventing, keep innovating to keep the product alive in the restaurant.
Okay.
So a simple thing that we do is every week put something out new
Okay. As in the menu?
in the menu as a special for a week.
Okay.
So every week we should have something new. That's something that we want as in Pandal, that every week we have to keep bringing out something different. Can be dessert, can be beverage, can be food, whatever it is. Just to one, challenging our own self. Two, yes, to bring something new to the table.
So, do you think the business situation has changed before COVID and after COVID?
So before COVID, to be honest, we didn't have a restaurant. I mean, Pandal restaurant, which opened in '84, we shut it down in 2004, if I'm not wrong, because the focus was drawn more towards hospitality and the flight catering business.
Basically, food industry, I would say. I mean,
So multiple things. Then what we did was not. I wouldn't say it's a retail business. Today we are in retail business. Pandal is retail business. Hotel is hospitality. Catering was more a B2B. Airline was our customer.
okay.
So we were selling to airlines. Everything was going very well. COVID, yes, of course. Post COVID, even better.
Oh,
Way better than what was before. If it is hospitality, if it's airline, and in retail space, we got the confidence to start Pandhal Cafe, which is a restaurant mode, and today we have 3 restaurants in 2 years, and we are hoping. We need to get out of Cochin now, cross our borders very soon.
okay.
We are working on it. So Pandal, just to give a short, we have 2 divisions in Pandal. We have a manufacturing wing and a retail wing. Manufacturing is something that today, for Christmas, we all taste what is known as a Matanjari spice mature plum cake. So that is from the manufacturing division, the kitchen. Packaged product. And we want to develop more.
Okay.
So we are working currently out of a casino hotel kitchen. But I'm in the next 3 months we are going to be in Edapally. We are setting up a central bakery. It's about 20,000 square feet space where we are focused only on bakery and allied products. So we are going to do more of a packaged product, but not many, but few more, and then get into the manufacturing wing. Yes, it will be the backbone for all the restaurants and cake shops also, but also the manufacturing is something that we want to take off. The restaurant is something that we started in 2021. We are also working on a concept which is very similar to Starbucks and the Cafe Coffee Day. And we are opening in Trivandrum for a change, for first shop in Trivandrum. That would be a month's time. And if it's on a pilot stage, if that clicks, we'll spread it. So we'll have 3 products. One is a cafe, one is a cake shop, and one is the Delhi model for under the Pandal retail food division.
Okay.
And yes, and then we have to move out of Cochin, Kerala, and then to India. So the benefit is now we have our flight kitchens, which is all the way starting from Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Pune, Chennai, Mangalore. So those are the backbone. Our back kitchen's already ready. It's now going and setting up the front, and then that's our next mode. How to go there in next 4 to 5 years. We should be there. So that's the target for Pandal.
So it's definitely not an easy task to maintain a lot of workforce behind you who has to be at their best. when the
Sure.
customer comes. How do you maintain that balance or that work culture when it's about catering to, the public?
So what I tell my team is, I'm only a steerer.
Okay.
The core team is actually the decision making. They should not be saying it's your decision. Please give me the decision. I'm saying you're hired for a reason. You're hired for a reason because you're the best. And if I knew your job, I would make. I don't need to hire you. The reason to hire a strong team is so that I trust them and I want them to make decisions. Strong decisions. Talk with the peers, talk with the group, and go ahead and take the decision. I would also tell when I address the chefs or the cafe team, the only way for you to enjoy work is to do something on your own. Take the decision
Okay.
of have an agenda for self growth. So I push everyone and I tell them that we are not spoon feeding company, because the minute we start spoon feeding, they'll wait for that spoon to
To
grow
go ahead.
and to take the next step. Today, in this format, each individual should know, okay, I'm not growing. The fault is whose? I'm in fault because I'm not growing, because I'm not pushing myself. This is a big learning that I felt when I went to America. Everything was like here, it's all you mug, you read your things, but there's different. You do your homework and you get it done. Same like in work culture. It is very much here, and that culture we have to start from the bottom level and let these trainees who's coming in know that we are there to handhold you, but we are not there to spoon feed you.
Okay.
So that is something very important in this overall hierarchy of the growth of each individual is very important. Company will run somehow, but end of the day, it's about me first on how can I develop myself. So use the company as a resource with the chefs, with the managers, with the finance, with the HR, how to develop your skill. So work culture is important. I mean, we need to bring in high skill. In restaurant, skill is most important. To go forward, we need talent. And to talent, we need to encourage talent for them to grow.
Okay.
So that is so important. And it's very important that we hear them and we hear the team on how they can, what they can bring to the table also.
Okay. So they're
So
very integral part of it.
it's a very integral part. I'm sure there are other HR practices, but this is like a very important part that we have to
Follow.
maintain.
So before
Yeah.
we wind up, there's one more thing I would like to know. That is, what are the strategies that you take up to create an experience as a cafe to the public?
Well, cafe is all about experience.
Yeah.
Food is, I think, maybe 30%
Okay.
or maybe 40% at the most,
Okay.
which is very important. 40% holds a big volume. The remaining is your service, the space, and create engagement. It's tough because unlike a hotel business, restaurant, you come, you eat, and you go.
Yeah.
You come with your own group of people and you go, right? So what more can you do is the biggest challenge. How can you make it more engaging? How can the menu make it more engaging? By bringing new menu items, something that's not seen before, will bring that the sense of a discussion.
Okay.
Like when we brought bagel to Cochin. Bagel was introduced by Pandal, I think, 2 years back. And it is still a learning curve for many. Sourdough. Sourdough is the world talks about sourdough. It's still very much a learning curve in Cochin. And it's a great product. So like that, in bringing in new element which is unheard of, unseen, can be a strategy to bring an experience through food.
Okay.
our beverage program has probiotic menu. I don't think it's very common to see a probiotic menu. It's everyone will have a kombucha. We have kombucha. We have something known as switchel. We have something known as jun. What is the other one? Kos. So a series, multiple variant of fermented beverage. And today, a fermented beverage or a probiotic beverage is a huge. There's a huge upward
Trend, yeah.
swing on our daily consumption. It's very healthy and something good for all of us for the gut. So, things like this through we want to talk through food. Subtle, but sometimes we need to be on your
Out
face.
there, yeah.
How do you do that? We do brunch, bring musician. So there's another strategy that everyone does music. Brunch, have a person singing. So why not we introduce karaoke? Now, a place like David Hall, we don't believe in screens or electronic digital screens. So we bought printouts of all the songs, lyrics of what the artist is going to sing. So we got it pre-planned, printed, and we kept it on every table. So who wants to sing, please sing along.
Okay.
And that made, in fact, I remember it was such a great vibe when everyone could sing. There was a rhythm in the space. And very small, and that small
Right.
made a difference. So these small
It's an
small
experience
things,
by
it's an
itself.
experience, right? But every day is new. Restaurant industry, you have to be on your toes to create new experience. And food is the main topic of engagement.
Yeah.
How food can talk to your people is what we strive to bring in that strategy or to bring a great experience. So, learning your market and understanding who your target market is so important to get your product out. So, yeah, I mean that's a very integral part is food talks for us.
That's great. And it's always been good experience for me over there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on our show. It was really nice experience talking to you. And all the very
Thank you, Anne.
best.
You're welcome, and hopefully we'll be talking in Trivandrum, Coimbatore,
Yes.
Ahmedabad, Jaipur next. Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All the best.